If you lived at the time of the American Revolution, pages 23 to 30. Who were the Patriots? In the beginning, the Patriots were the people in the colonies who wanted England to remove taxes. But soon the word liberty was being heard. The Patriots no longer wanted to be British Americans. They just wanted to be Americans. They supported the Continental Congress as a way to rule themselves. They started thinking of themselves as the United Colonies. Patriots were known by many names, including rebels, Liberty Boys, sons or daughters of the Liberty, colonials, and Whigs. About 1/3 of the people lived in the 13 colonies were Patriots. When war broke out, the Continental Army was formed with men from the colonies and a few men from Canada. Most Native Americans were on the British side, but some tribes helped the Patriots. The Patriots enlisted slaves to fight for them after England had already taken on thousands of African American soldiers. Although more blacks joined the British Army, it is thought that about 5,000 fought for the Patriots. Since slaves did not have last names, many gave themselves names such as Liberty or Freedom. One unit from Connecticut included men named Sharp, Liberty, and Cuff Freedom. In 1778, France joined the Patriot side. They sent money, troops, and a navy. Spain and Holland entered the war in 1779, supplying money to the Patriots. Did everyone in the colonies take sides? No. Many people tried to stay neutral, not choose a side, during the war. Some changed sides depending on what was happening. Many families split because of different views about the war. Benjamin Franklin was a well-known patriot. His son William was the royal governor of New Jersey and warned the people in that colony not to act against the king. William became the head of the Board of American Loyalists. George Washington was the leader of the Continental Army. His older half-brother Lawrence was a loyalist. Some people hoped to stay out of the war entirely. The religion of the Quakers and Mennonites did not allow them to fight, although some did take sides. Others were not free to express openly their true feelings, but were expected to go along with the view of their households. These included slaves and indentured servants, men and women who had to work for someone else for a number of years to pay off a debt. You could not always be sure how someone felt about the war. There were no lines dividing each side. Your family might be patriots and your next-door neighbors loyalists. In some families, a couple of family members would travel to Britain and the rest would stay in the colonies. In this way, the family was sure to be on the winning side, no matter which side was won. How would your life have changed after the Declaration of Independence? The Declaration of Independence was written mainly by Thomas Jefferson and adopted by the Continental Congress in 1776. The Declaration listed 27 ways the king had hurt the colonies. Patriots agreed with the Declaration. They now viewed the colonies as 13 states, making one nation. The Declaration divided many families, friends, and neighbors. Some patriots were against British taxes, but didn't favor a total break with Britain. John Dickinson, a member of Congress from Philadelphia, spoke out strongly, saying, "Declaring our independence at a time like this is like burning down our house before we have another." Some of these patriots began siding with the British and even moved to England. Men who wanted independence went to fight with the Continental Army or with their local militia. In Massachusetts, they were known as Minutemen because they could get ready to fight in a minute. More soldiers came from Massachusetts and Connecticut than any other areas. With men away from home, family life changed. Women had to run farms and manage businesses. Children helped harvest crops and made sure animals were fed and watered. Sometimes fathers and brothers would return home to help plant or harvest crops and then go back to their units and the fighting. Money could be scarce for soldiers' families because soldiers often didn't get paid for over a year. What happened to Loyalist families after the Declaration? After the Declaration of Independence was adopted, life became difficult for Loyalists. Some left and went to Canada or England. If you stayed, you probably kept quiet. You and your family could show your feelings only if you felt protected by British troops. You might have moved to Georgia, New Jersey, or New York, where there were large numbers of Loyalists. Loyalists had to pay heavy taxes on their property. They couldn't buy or sell land. In some areas, the land and belongings of the Loyalists were taken and people forced to leave to seek help from other Loyalists. Sometimes Patriots attacked them or burned their homes. Loyalists couldn't vote or hold public office. They couldn't be lawyers or teachers. Some Loyalists were put in jail or had to pay money as a promise that they would not help the British troops. A Declaration of Dependence was written late in 1776 and signed by 700 Loyalists. This only made the Patriots more angry. How could you tell who was a Patriot? Most towns had a committee of safety, made up of 12 men. Patriots would swear to the committee in that they would no longer support or obey King George or any other soldier or citizen of England. But just their word wasn't enough. Each man had to bring in 2 or 3 other men called Friends of Freedom to back him up. If the committee believed the promise, the Patriot was given a pass. Men needed passes to travel safely through the areas where the Patriots were strong. Women and children needed passes if they were traveling alone. Patriots who owned businesses advertised that they would not stock British goods. Others refused to shop at stores that sold British items. They stopped drinking tea as a sign of loyalty. They drank coffee or Liberty tea, brewed from strawberry, raspberry, mint, or other kinds of leaves instead. Patriots called themselves Americans, as well as Virginians or New Englanders. If you saw a man wearing a medal with a picture of a tree on it, you knew he was a member of the Sons of Liberty, a group of patriots well known throughout the colonies. Many towns had a Liberty tree. It might be a real tree or just a pole where patriots met to talk and plan. The number 13 was important to the Patriots because they were 13 colonies. It was often used as a signal. Some women wore their hair in 13 curls as a sign of support for the Patriots. After the Declaration of Independence was adopted in 1776, Patriot families celebrated the 4th of July as a holiday. Towns planned a day of festivals, including gun salutes, patriotic speeches, dances, sporting events, bell ringing, bonfires, and illuminations. Lighted candles in the windows of the houses. People sang songs about the leaders of the American and British armies. 2 popular songs were War in Washington and General Burgoyne's Surrender, about a British officer who lost a major battle at Saratoga, New York in 1777. Sometimes a fireworks display would end with a burst of 13 rockets. This is the end of today's lesson.